Welcome to the I CVille Show. Jerry Miller, good to be with you on a Friday. Thanks to the fine folks at Greenberry's Coffee. Fantastic feedback, fantastic response to the I CVille Show in the last couple weeks of doing it. Folks, we have broken news on the I CVille Show, and we're going to talk about it. You know, we had Robert Gray scheduled for the program today of Dreamin' Diamonds. Robert Gray is sick. We hope you get better, Robert Gray. We hope to see you in 2019 and welcome you to this program. Let's pay the bills and let's get some things out of the way first. Let's thank Greenberry's Coffee. For more than 25 years, Greenberry's Coffee, ladies and gentlemen, has been serving Central Virginia some of the finest Joe and cafe and coffee man can possibly make. This is a global company that's brewed locally. Thank you, Greenberry's Coffee. Thank you, Scott Wagner, Chiropractic and Sports Medicine. Who's got your back? Scott Wagner. Chiropractic and Sports Medicine has your back. And Cheri and Bill Kerr at Camryn Limousine, fantastic, fantastic friends of this program. All right, guys, we're going to get into the first story. And before we roll the tape, I don't want to roll the tape yet. I had Al Schornberg on the program. Al Schornberg is the CEO of Keswick Vineyards. This man is cool. He is calm. He is collected. Al is a cool dude. He sat right over here next to me, and we talked for 60 minutes at how Keswick Vineyards has become one of the best vineyards on the East Coast. This is a winery and a vineyard that is winning big-time awards, ladies and gentlemen. Al and his beautiful wife, Cindy, intelligent wife, Cindy, first arrived in Charlottesville in 2000 after they sold their tech company. They had a tech company that Al started from scratch. He took it national. He exited his company. He made some big-time dinero. Jay Wyant, welcome to the program, baby. And when Al made some big-time dinero, he took a plane ride with his wife on a hunting trip in the Northwest. And on this plane ride, Al and his wife, Cindy, almost died. And this near-death experience is why we have Keswick Vineyards today. JW, roll the tape.
One day, Cindy and I were hunting in the Northwest Territories. Had to come back early for a meeting, chartered a plane, ran into some trees on the top of a mountain, survived that. We shouldn't be here today. We really shouldn't. If you saw pictures of the plane, it's incredible.
You and your wife?
Yes, Cindy and I. So at about 20 minutes before we were able to land the craft using a door as a drag so that the pilot could steer the plane. And so a lot of thoughts went through my mind, and one of them was, well, first of all, I think it's time for Cindy to get pregnant.
How old are you guys?
This would have been in 1995, so I guess I would have been 45 at that point.
Okay.
No, sorry, 50.
So this near-death experience, guys, puts things in perspective for Al and Cindy. They come to Keswick. They launch Keswick Vineyards. 18 years later, they are at the pinnacle of the profession, certainly here in Charlottesville and Central Virginia. And a little later in the interview, we talk about a joint venture that they have on the horizon with Three Notch Brewing Company. Scott Roth, the president of Three Notch Brewing Company. Derek Naughton, one of the guys behind it. Dave Warwick, the brewmaster. This company is making big-time moves. Al Schornberg tells us on the show we are very in the late stages of a big-time negotiation, a big-time deal where beer will be on draft, Three Notch beer on tap at Keswick Vineyards, an exclusive brew from Three Notch, a brew made specifically for Keswick on tap at Keswick. Okay? And perhaps some other bottles and other types of beer available at Keswick. In return, Keswick is going to have some of their wine at Three Notch Brewing Company. These are the type of joint ventures that take marketplaces and they take booze brands like Three Notch and Keswick to different levels. Al Schornberg, Scott Roth, they are pioneers in their profession. These are people that are willing to take chances and risks and think outside the box. They have formed a joint venture that I think, guys, is going to be a joint venture that's going to be done by other folks. I would not be surprised if you see Champion. I mean, the Champion family is a hunter at Champion Brewing Company, and his parents own Afton Mountain Vineyard, okay? Why don't we see a JV or a joint venture that's more marketing and more branding with the Smith family with those two brands? I would not be surprised if you see more JVs like this where Booze Brands in CVille wine and beer partner together. Now, here's been the fallout of this. There's a lot of folks that are like old school and old guard wine folks, old school and old guard wine folks that are not crazy about this. The old guard, the OGs in the wine category, the people that really say it's wine, and they're like authentic, they're passionate, they're genuine about that wine. They are nervous about this because they're worried, A, does it marginalize the wine? B, does it create more people wanting to come to the vineyard or winery for beer instead of wine? And C, does it turn the winery and vineyard into more of a bar setting as opposed to a vineyard or winery? I think the future of the business and I think the future of the category is what we're seeing at Meriwether Springs Brewery and Winery in Ivy. Ed Pierce's family, Ed Pierce, Christian Pierce, Andy Pierce, these guys, legends, Western Albemarle athletic legends here. I think the future of breweries and wineries in some ways is this destination experience. You have to pivot the model from just a bar experience to a destination experience where you can have fun with your family, you can eat, you can drink, you can listen to music, you can play board games, there's a kids section, there's outdoor games. That's how you keep people sticky in their seats staying for long. I want to finish the story with Al Schornberg breaking the news about the joint venture with 3 Notch and Keswick here on the I CVille Show. JW, roll the tape.
In fact, we're in negotiations now with a very well-known quality beer maker.
You're going to tell us?
We haven't signed the deal.
Give us a little tip here, Al, on the show here? Come on.
They're very, very popular.
Okay.
But
3 Notch over there?
Well, geez, you're really good.
3 Notch. Oh, that's genius. Is it 3 Notch?
Yeah, it is.
Scott Roth and what Dave Warwick and 3 Notch are doing is fantastic.
Yeah, they're incredible. And so we're in negotiations with them where we will have a special brew made for Keswick.
That's awesome.
And we'll offer it in our tasting room. And we're also
one brew? One?
No, I think in our case we're going to offer 2. Like an ale, a heavier wine.
I think that's
and then
genius.
Something lighter. And in turn, we're going to be serving their wine at their place.
So would you be the exclusive wine provider at 3 Notch if this deal goes through?
Yes.
Category exclusivity.
Yes.
Smart. That's smart.
But it's not a done deal yet. So, knock on wood, I hope I didn't just...
Scott Roth, this is a good deal for you. Dave Warwick, this is a good deal for you. We have these guys on the show do this deal. This is a good deal, okay? Watch the story closely. We're certainly going to cover it very closely here on the I CVille Show. I love when entrepreneurs think outside the box for the betterment of their business models. Even more importantly, for the betterment of the Charlottesville and Central Virginia community. Let's move on to our next story. One of the best stories we've covered here in the program, April Dent Ward. She's becoming a very good friend of the program. She's a real estate agent, one that specializes and knows the Fifeville neighborhood inside and out. April Dent Ward joined us on the program to talk about the Kim's Market property. She broke news that the Kim's Market property is now under pending sale. Chris Kabbash is the listing agent on this property. I have more news that I cannot report on this yet. It will be coming down the pipe soon. When it does, we will let you know on this program. I think that anyone that's in Fifeville, Virginia, anyone in the Fifeville neighborhood, or anyone that's concerned about preserving the authenticity, the character, the genuine aspects, the true realities, the true genuine aspects of Charlottesville should be very concerned or very focused or prioritized on Kim's Market and that property. And I'm preparing you guys for some news coming down the pipeline very soon. News that I think that could impact not only the neighborhood, not only the BCBA, but news that I think could impact, just wait for it. We'll let you know. April Dent Ward, we thought you did a tremendous job on the program. We'll follow the Kim's Market property and the pending sale on the horizon very closely. I want to hear April and what she had to say on this program, JW. Roll the tape, my friend.
As of last night, well, I don't know exactly what time it hit, but the 501 Cherry Avenue, which is Kim's Market, as most Fifeville, Charlottesville folks know, is now pending sale. So no clue what is coming. I'm excited to see what will be coming, but anxious to see what is going to be developed there and how will it affect the neighborhood, altogether.
Because it's a big-time spot. April
Yeah.
Ward, breaking news here. Ladies and gentlemen, this is something that you're going to see in local news outlets, I guarantee you right now. She brings it to attention, puts it in the news cycle herself, the Fifeville specialist, April Ward. Chris Kabbash's property. He's the listing agent.
Yes.
Chris Kabbash, the listing agent of Avenue Realty. She let me know about this. It's a 1.35 acre property, Kim's Market on Cherry Avenue. We found out about this last night. There is a pending sale. We'll keep you posted, guys. We'll keep you posted on the show. We'll follow the story closely. It's something that must remain in the news cycle. Let's change gears. Let's talk Tiffany Smith. She is the entrepreneur. She is the actress. She is the character behind the Virginia shop in Barracks Road. Tiffany Smith is one of my favorite people in Charlottesville. She's a retailista. She's an actress. She's just a fireball of personality. We welcomed Tiffany Smith, the owner of the Virginia shop, onto this program because we knew that she embodied the qualities that we like on our platform: entrepreneur, positive of Charlottesville, willing to be herself and be courageous and take risks and chances, committed to making Charlottesville a better place, just like we are at this shop. Tiffany Smith, she was the first person in the history of the I CVille Show to ever sing in our studio. And I will never forget this moment. I think this is a fabulous clip. She played a role in Young Frankenstein at the 4 County Players called Madeline Kahn. And she brought a little bit of the Madeline Kahn to the I CVille show. Judah, roll the tape. What was the last role you played right there?
So I played, I was in Young Frankenstein at 4 County Players.
Okay.
And I played the Madeline Kahn part.
Okay.
And it was just like, she's fabulous. She's just Elizabeth Benning. She's the one who gets with the monster. And, you know, like, it's really, if you know Young Frankenstein, the movie, which it's a cult classic, the Madeline Kahn part, oh, sweet mystery of life, at last I found thee. Yeah, she has a very happy ending. So yeah, it was just like it was a great part.
Go see Tiffany at the Virginia shop, and when you do, see if she'll sing a little bit for you. She's very, very, very willing to do so. Tiffany Smith, thank you. We appreciate you. We're grateful, and we thank you for your time. Let's change gears. Let's talk hard news. I think what I'm trying to do with my platform is I'm not only trying to focus and feature the entrepreneurs and the business owners that make this community great. I'm also trying to feature the leaders of the community. I have City Councilor Kathy Galvin coming on the program a week from today. Mayor Walker has agreed to come on the program in January, and we thank you for doing that, Mayor Walker. I've extended multiple invitations to Wes Bellamy to come on the program. And Wes, we have an open seat for you to come on the show because, Wes, I'd like to give the same invitation to you that we do all the councilors here in Charlottesville, Central Virginia. Where I'm going with this is one of the jobs I feel I need to use my platform to cover hard news items that I think are not getting the attention they deserve. The Daily Progress and Nolan Stout have done a really good job of late of covering Charlottesville City Hall. I had Nolan Stout, the beat writer of City Hall, on the program to talk about city council credit card usage, and he offered some perspective on why he wrote this itemization story that spotlighted city councilor credit card usage over a 15 to 16-month period of time. Before we roll the tape, a couple things I didn't know about. First, I didn't even know the city councilors had credit cards. Did you? I'm glad they wrote the story, because I think it's important that we do know that our city councilors have credit cards and the purchase they're making are being paid for by our tax dollars. Don't you? I think that's fair. The second thing I'd like to discuss is the approval process. Expensive hotel rooms, trips to South by Southwest, retail purchase at local merchants. Just want to talk about the approval process and who's holding folks accountable, because I think that needs to be spotlighted some more. JW, I think we're ready to hear from Nolan Stout, the beat writer of the Charlottesville Daily Progress. Please roll the tape. Did any of them red flag more than others?
The ones that I highlighted in the stories, which is why I wrote them, and I kind of went through and looked at the ones that I was like, okay, that one kind of jumps out, this one jumps out, I don't know what this one is, I don't know what that acronym's for. So then after that, then you go and ask, hey, where were you on this date, or what is this expenditure, or just to get some more clarification on it.
Yeah, and I thought you did a good job. I think it was really clear. Tell me about the follow-up story.
The follow-up story is because I didn't feel like the first had enough about the oversight or the how the policy works.
And you did a good job of comparing and contrasting it to other locations.
Yeah, and that's what I wanted to do too, to see, if it's unique to here, if other people do it, and kind of what the accountability system is, how they turn the receipts, who looks over the receipts, and how that everything gets.
I appreciate Nolan for coming on the show. Not a lot of beat reporters would come on the program. I hope to welcome him on in the future. And I know for a fact that editors at the Daily Progress named Jenny Rector and Aaron Richardson, Nolan Stout's bosses at the Daily Progress, are planning quarterly follow-up stories analyzing and spotlighting city councilor credit card usage. I salute the Daily Progress. Oftentimes, it gets a bad rap in our community, some of it deserved, some of it undeserved. In this particular circumstance, I think the community watchdog, which is the daily newspaper, rose to the occasion and put a spotlight on something that needed attention, despite the fact that it knew, the newspaper, it was going to get some negative fallout from the supporters of City Council. The diehard supporters of City Council attacked the paper for this story. Frankly, I think that attack is unjustified. I think it's unjustified. I think the paper is itemizing tax dollars being spent, and that's the whole point of a community watchdog. I welcome another community watchdog, Rob Schilling of 1070 WINA, onto the I CVille show. And Rob Schilling, one thing he's going to do is he's going to give you his honest thoughts and opinion. He is the last Republican elected city councilor in city of Charlottesville. Rob Schilling, thank you for joining us on the show. Let's hear what he has to say about city councilor credit card usage. JW, roll the tape. But outside of the credit card purchase, even more important, you save the public perception or the negative public perception that comes from these purchases.
So what do people always say about politicians is they get in there and they feed at the public trough. And you see people going up to Washington, D.C., and they're on easy street. They get the pension when they go to Congress. If they're there for 6 years, or maybe it's 5 years, if they cross over the 5-year mark, they're on a pension for life. It was why I was so excited when Tom Perriello was thrown out after the first term. I did not want to see him being paid by the public for the rest of his life. I just didn't want to see it. And I would say the same thing about all of them. I don't want to see that policy there. So when people have a bad and a negative reputation about politicians, it's because they've taken advantage of a position of power they've been put into, and money and the abuse of public funds, I believe, is an extreme.
We want to thank Rob Schilling for joining us on the program. We look forward to welcoming him back onto the I CVille show. I think he offers a perspective that's important to have in our news cycle. I try to showcase both sides of the coin, both ideologies on the I CVille show. Let's talk another entrepreneur. His name, Damian Banks. Now, Damian Banks is maybe one of my most favorite guests of all time on the I CVille show. Damian Banks is the CEO, and he's the founder of the BCBA, Banks Collage Basketball Association. Damian Banks grew up on Ridge Street, 3 or 4 homes down from the Food Master on Ridge Street. Went to Charlottesville High School, and he realized as he was matriculating and maturing and getting older in our community that the basketball category, the niche of hoops, was underserved in Charlottesville and Central Virginia. So what did Damian Banks do? He created a league of his own. He started at the Dell, and then he moved it from the Dell to Tonsler Park on Cherry Avenue, right across from Kim's Market. The same Kim's Market property that could potentially impact the BCBA, because the BCBA uses the parking lot at Kim's Market for parking. That's where the players park and walk across the street to the courts. That's another reason why I'm following Kim's Market. Anyway, Damian Banks was so good on this program, so charismatic on this program, so confident, so outgoing. He's a genuine, natural-born leader. I see why he's had success in creating a basketball league in Charlottesville and Central Virginia. I see why people are naturally gravitated to this man, because he's authentic. Damian Banks is approachable. I encourage Charlottesville and Central Virginia to support the BCBA. It's a nonprofit that is offering an opportunity for a lot of folks to play basketball, to play a sport as opposed to getting into trouble. Damian Banks, I put him on the spot, and I asked him, who are the 5 best BCBA players of all time? He didn't want to answer this question, but with the help of the ball hawk, Ahmad Hawkins, on the chat box, we got 5 answers from Damian Banks. Here's what Damian had to say. Top 5 players in the BCBA.
Time, you want all time or right now?
Let's do both. Top 5 all time.
All time. DeMario Maddox.
Okay. Number 1?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. Rajon Smith. Rob Gray. I'm
Yeah.
going to go with him.
Number 3?
Number 3.
All time.
Yes. No particular order.
Still has the scoring record.
No particular order.
Okay.
He still has the single game scoring record.
Okay.
Trevor Smith.
Okay. It's 4.
Dang, this is tough. I'm going to go with Ross.
Okay.
I'm going to go with Ross Williams.
Okay.
Thomas. I'm going to go with Thomas.
Thomas Brown in the 5 slot.
Thomas and Ross is
Okay, so you gave us there.
5B.
Damian Banks is such a good guy. It was so difficult for him to answer that question because he did not want to offend anyone, and I respect him for doing that. I asked him some other tough questions as well, particularly about current events in Charlottesville, like city councilor credit card usage, like city councilors wanting to set their own pay. What do we do with the statues that have caused so much trouble in Charlottesville? Damian Banks had a very unique perspective to these questions. You know what he said? He said, I think we need to be better listeners. I've heard a lot of different suggestions and a lot of different answers of how we solve the strife and the beef that we have in our community. I have not heard many people say we need to be better listeners. I want to roll the tape and hear what he has to say. Can't change the past.
You can't change it. I just like for people just to come together a little bit more. You know what I'm saying? It's good to, like, talk about the history. You got to know where you come from to know where you're going. But sometimes we just got to get together more and talk about it. Like, a lot of times, everybody talk about it in there. I'll be honest with you. A lot of people is talking and not listening. So it just become like a time where this side is talking and they not listening to this side. They just waiting on their next time to talk. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, all right, I'm going to talk. Then they go spill a little bit. It's just like people waiting on the next time to talk instead of listening. Once everybody start listening to each other, because sometimes you look at arguments and people are saying the same exact thing. Like, you like, man, y'all saying the same thing. Y'all just don't know it. You know what I'm saying? I just feel like they got.
Guys, I'll tell you what. I could totally see Damian Banks getting active as some kind of leader in our community. And if he does, I think Charlottesville would be a better place for it. Because this guy, when it's all said and done, he's not driven by materialism or capitalism or money. He's running a nonprofit. He's allocating 40, 50 hours a week of his time to a nonprofit basketball league, dance league, flag football league, a league that also offers track competitions. He's doing this almost as like a philanthropist. And I was moved and taken aback because I don't see that kind of effort, especially that kind of effort when you're not driven by capitalism or money to put that effort into it. And I want to applaud Damian Banks for doing that. Dude, you're big time, baby. Big time. Couple things out of the notebook before we close down here. A story I'm following closely, Fernando Garay. We call him Fur Cuts around Charlottesville. This guy is what some people say is the most talented barber in Charlottesville, Virginia. And Judah, let's get some images of Fernando on screen here so people can get a feel for him. Fernando Garay, he's opening a barbershop on the corner, the House of Cards. And this barbershop on the corner is something that I think is going to have a big-time impact in Charlottesville. Why I think it's going to have a big-time impact is Fernando on 14th Street on the UVA corner is going to bring a taste and a flavor of Charlottesville, Virginia. A taste and a flavor of Charlottesville, Virginia from an urban standpoint, from a fashion standpoint, from a music standpoint, from a food standpoint. I mean, just like the real, baby. I mean, like the real. And he's going to bring this flavor, and he's going to put it on the UVA corner, where oftentimes the UVA corner is one demographic. I'll cut to the chase. A lot of times on the UVA corner, I'm seeing 18 to 22-year-old preppy white folks walking around and their button-downs. I mean, I'm wearing a button-down. Do I fall in this category? Maybe. And their button-downs and rainbow sandals. Fernando is going to bring his style, baby. He's going to bring his energy. He's going to bring his vision and his entrepreneurial spirit to the corner on 14th Street, right across from Boylan Heights, with House of Cuts Barbershop. I'm going to welcome this young bull, this entrepreneur, onto the program in January to talk about why he's got the nuts, the courage, and the vision to make a business happen in the city of Charlottesville. This might be the youngest entrepreneur in the city of Charlottesville right now, Fernando Garay. Salute you, baby. Coming up on the program next week, we are booked solid. The response to this program has been off the chain. I've been so pleasantly surprised, and I'm truly grateful for your support. I'm going to use this platform to showcase the best of Charlottesville, Virginia. Let me let you know what's coming Monday. Denise Hurst Ramey. Denise Ramey is killing it in Old Trail. She's got a partnership with Arcadia Builders, and she has cornered the Old Trail market. Denise Hurst Ramey on the I Love CVille Show Monday at 12:30. On Tuesday, we are going to have sit down with Sean Simmons. Tuesday and Wednesday, Sean Simmons, CEO of Greenberry's Coffee. We'll welcome him to the program. How is Sean Simmons taking Greenberry's Coffee from the McIntyre Office Park? A Honda Civic that was beat up, two-door Honda Civic. Him and his wife started the company 26 years ago. And now they're global. They're brewed locally, but they're enjoyed globally. Qatar, Japan, Saudi Arabia, West Coast, Washington, D.C. How the hell has he done this? Okay, this is an entrepreneurial story that must be discussed. He's going to join us on the program on Wednesday. Catherine Matthews, the CEO, the owner of Iron Poffles and Coffee on Water Street on Thursday. And Friday, Kathy Galvin. Hey, Kathy Galvin, I give you props. Someone get on the phone and give Kathy Galvin some props. City Councilor Charlottesville, City of Charlottesville. Kathy Galvin openly inboxed me on Facebook. She instigated the conversation and said, I'd love to come on your show and talk with you. And if we disagree with each other, I think you can do it in a magnanimous, is that the right way to say it, JW? Magnanimous? Magnanimous. Whatever. You get what I'm saying. She's saying we can disagree in a way where we can get along. And you know what? You are so right. Anyone who's watching this show, if you have an ideology that's different than mine, who cares? Let's talk. It's the sweet thing about this community and about America in general is people can disagree and we can do it pleasantly, and perhaps we can take something from each other to better our personal lives and change our outlook for the best. I don't get it. I don't get and I think it's a byproduct of social media. Everyone is so quick to be mean. Everyone is so quick to hurl insults or set up a brick wall to protect themselves and not show their vulnerability. Is it because of social media? It's probably a negative ramification of ubiquitous nature of social media. I think we just need to abide by the golden rule. If we did unto others as we would want them doing to us, we would be in a better community. I don't know. Stop the bickering, I would say. That's all I got to say. We'll be back on Monday. Denise Hurst Ramey on Monday. I can't wait to talk to Denise. She's fantastic. She's like 20-plus million real estate agent joining us on the program on Monday. I'm Jerry Miller. He's JW, Judah Wickhauer, our producer, making us sound and look good. He had to go through a lot of rigmarole to put this Best of Charlottesville show together, and I salute you for that, Judah. I'm back on Monday with Denise. Guys, be good to each other, please. Have a good weekend.